EU demands Serbia and Kosovo sign deal before bloc membership amid fears of tension. Both want to join the EU, but Brussels is demanding a legal framework enshrining relations between Belgrade and Pristina before Serbia is accepted as a member state. The EU also insists on the resumption of dialogue between the two governments that stalled more than a year ago, stressing that improved relations are vitally important for the region's stability. European Parliament President Antonio Tajani said, "It is important for the EU to see a legally binding agreement reached before admission to the EU, and all is clear there." Mr. Tajani did not use the term full recognition, which is a concept rejected by most Serbs. US-led NATO bombing forced Serbian forces to pull out of mainly Muslim Kosovo in 1999, and the state declared independence in 2008 with the backing of the US and many EU nations. Belgrade has vowed it would never recognize an independent Kosovo and enlisted Russia's support to keep the young country from joining the United Nations. But Serbia has so far opened only 12 of the 35 negotiating chapters as part of its accession to the EU, and the legally binding agreement is a key requisite for its membership. Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić said, "The EU expects from the Serbia a legally binding agreement with Pristina, after which it may join the Union." He admitted that the issue of Kosovo was the hardest part of the work left for Serbia to do on the road to the EU. Mr. Vučić has cast himself as pro-Western and has been trying to convince Brussels that shedding his nationalist past is a sign that he is willing to make painful compromises. But he has to show a proven track record of improved relations with Kosovo, whose population is 92% ethnic Albanian and 4% Serb, when if anything ties between the two have soured in recent years. Bekim Kalaku, Chief of Staff of Kosovan President Hashim Thaci and the country's former Minister for European Integration, said, "Concessions will have to be made by both countries in order to achieve a historical agreement for peace and reconciliation between the two. At the same time, it is unthinkable to continue with the status quo where 5 EU member states do not recognize our independence because Serbia will not face realities on the ground and let go of the past. Kosovo will not be able to join the EU if relations with Serbia are not settled now. The EU has so far made wise decisions by including normalization of relations with Kosovo as a separate condition for Serbia's EU accession. Kosovo is fully committed to the implementation in good faith of all the agreements reached so far, including the agreement on the association of Serb-majority municipalities in accordance with the ruling of the Constitutional Court of Kosovo. Our Serbian counterparts must implement agreements reached on energy and the recognition of diplomas, and to stop their proactive efforts to block Kosovo's membership in international organizations such as UNESCO and Interpol." Mr. Tajani said the EU's position was to favor the Belgrade-Pristina dialogue in an effort to reach a legally acceptable solution before Serbia became a full member. And Belgrade insiders believe a compromise solution could allow Serbia to avoid formally recognizing Kosovo as an independent state. Mr. Tajani also said Serbia had much more to do about the rule of law, constitutional reform and press freedom, adding that he was confident that Serbia would do all that was necessary, just as other EU countries had done. He said 2018 could be a year of turnabout and agreed with the statement by European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker, that Serbia and Montenegro might join the EU in 2025, at the earliest.